This is the Nightmare difficulty clear for Scion of our Light Ethel using only 3 stars. Obviously, there's better teams we can run, but this is the free-to-play budget option, pretty much the bare minimum we're going to be working with. Before we talk about the upgrades for some of these slots, let's talk about the Blessing of the Stars first, because this is really key to this fight. Besides the level 1 Leo, we have level 3 Sagittarius. The important thing here is that to hit level 3, you either need one of these 2x slots or both of the 1x slots. And this costs 10 points, these each cost 5, so it's the same cost. This is much more accessible. It's Carrot or Ainos. I know I'm using Ainos in my team, but if you have literally any of the upgrades, Ainos is probably the most replaceable member on this team. So you can use one of these slots much easier than these slots, because this is just Spirit Eye, Celine, and Ukid added. There's no other options. And then this one is just a bunch of 5-star knights. So let's say you don't have the one for this. These two is not enough. Hit level 3. You would still have to unlock one of the 2x slots, which costs 15 points to hit level 3, instead of if you just did this and then unlock this, that's only 10 points to hit level 3. So let's put these people back in. And then for this final slot, you can use Helga, so it's not a huge deal. What the actual blessings do is the first one, increase hit chance of Dark Elemental heroes by 20%, and you ignore 15%. Level 2, Rangers get increased evasion and effectiveness by 70%. Level 3, the Knight in the front slot gets evasion and 70% speed, or also 70% evasion. So we'll be using that. You could definitely clear this at level 2 with some RNG. It's just, might as well get level 3, because we're gonna want level 4 for Perdition anyways. So now we have this. We've got Pyllis and Wanda, and Ainos and Lilka. Ainos and Lilka are the easily replaceable units, I would say. Wanda and Pyllis are pretty core. Keep in mind that for Nightmare, we only need 3 Dark Heroes, so you can have your 4th unit be any element. We want Evasion, ideally a unit with hit chance, and then also a Cleanse as the key parts of this fight. Also Provoke or Redirected Provoke. So Pyllis is a Cleanse plus Provoke. Wanda has hit chance. So we are pretty much good to go. The blessings give Pyllis evasion. Wanda and Lilka get evasion. Ainos has no evasion, though the boss does have decreased hit chance at the start. So it's not a huge deal, plus even if she gets hit, it's kind of whatever. Let's take a look at some of the upgrades though. We're going to be taking a look at Cecilia bot because I do not own a lot of these options. The first things first, you want to make sure that all of your units have evasion. For the Dark Heroes, there's some pretty good options here. We can just search for evasion actually. Assassin Cartusia is nice because he can be a secondary provoker for you. He has a 100% chance to provoke on his S1. You can also get his EE to make him 70% dodge chance if you want. Or you could get the one that increases CR whenever he evades. I'm not sure how much evasion you necessarily need for this fight, because the boss has a base minus 70 hit chance, so it does go up as the fight goes on. I don't know what it hits. And then Ridelet add-in or the DPS options. Probably good units to use just to speed up the fight a little bit. We also have Peyra, who can act as a cleanser with her S3. I haven't tested it because I don't own her, but I'm sure she probably cycles around fast enough that you can actually cleanse the blind in time. She also only has 50% evasion. Unfortunately, warriors don't really have evasion artifacts, so that is worth keeping in mind. And I think that's honestly it. There's not like much reason to use many other units. Like there's other evasion units still if we swap off Dark, like there's Flan, Savior added, Spez, but you're pretty much fine. Honestly, you could use Savior added if you have her. I don't really recommend getting her because it's kind of a waste of time, but you could use her if you want in that final slot where Lilka is. But you could also use like any ranger in that slot technically, because they'll all have evasion. And for provokes, Pyllis can solo provoke fine if you generate enough souls, so not really a huge deal. Some other provokers though, I already mentioned Assassin Cartusia. Hellion Lua is really nice, just because... Well, Assassin Cartouche is the exception, because he has built-in evasion, but otherwise you want a Knight or a Ranger. Only one Knight on your team, though, because only the front one gets evasion. Which, for Knights, it's Fall of Cecilia, 100% provoke on S1. Crimson Armament also has 100% provoke on S1, though she's not dark. Hellion Lua is really, really nice, just because her S3 provokes both. S1 has a 100% chance to provoke. Her S2 will not activate, though, because it only activates when you get hit by a hero. That's honestly probably good enough. Like, that is enough options, honestly. So let's go ahead and take a look at everyone's stats. Let's start off with Pyllis. For Pyllis, I gave her a DPS build just for fun. Her stats honestly don't really matter at all. The only thing you want is the speed. The ads have like no FRES. I haven't missed a single debuff. If you do miss some debuffs, give her some effectiveness, I guess. But I've done a few runs and I've missed no debuffs with this effectiveness. I'm 25 base plus 10 from Leo, so 35. I gave her Oath Key also kind of for fun because 20% from Oath Key, 20% from the level 1 blessing, and 30% from her skill tree gives her 70, so she can actually hit the boss while it has evasion. I'll show the stat pieces here. It doesn't matter. Like, her stats do not matter. Just give her a good amount of speed. Now I'll take a look at her skill tree too. I do have all of this stuff enhanced. The only thing that matters here is the S2P cooldown and the S1 provoke I would get. In her skill tree, the speed and the effectiveness are what you're looking for. Plus, you're going to want the this CR push everybody after using S3, and I would grab the hit chance as well. This one, you could honestly skip this if you're super broke, but you kind of have to get to +9 anyways. Next, let's take a look at Wanda. For Wanda, I gave her a damage build. Pen set is better than crit. I just didn't feel like giving her that. We have 85 crit chance because the boss is light element, so we do have elemental advantage. You can run speed set too, it's fine. You don't need that much damage for Nightmare. For artifact, any damage boosting artifact is fine. If you have Cake or Seasons, you can use that. And then for her skill tree, I would get the effectiveness ones. You don't actually need the HP because you don't take any damage in the fight. I got the CR push one too, and then the one that increases the hit chance of her S1 as well as her S3. And then here I just maxed it out because it's a 3-star. It doesn't really cost anything. She is pretty much our main DPS. And then max out the target at the very least, I would say. Next up is Ainos. For Ainos, her stats also don't matter. This is my Expedition Ainos. The only thing that matters for her is her speed, because we're not debuffing anything, we don't take any debuffs. So yeah, just give her a decent amount of speed, I guess, so she can cycle around and generate some souls for you. And I have her on Warhorn. Besides Warhorn, you could also give her Free to Artifact if you have that, just to start off with 10 or 20 souls if it procs. You could also give her Potion Vial. There's a point where you get blinded, and sometimes you don't cleanse it too fast, but probably Potion Vial is too inconsistent. I would just use Warhorn or use Spotted Mouse Hair Tie, the Free to Artifact. For her skill tree, well, here I have this maxed and this maxed. For S1, the Death Break doesn't matter in this fight, though it is nice for expeditions. And then for the skill tree, you're going to want the Peace, don't matter because you're not taking damage. Get the speed. What does it matter? This 5 effectiveness for all allies. You kind of don't need this just because Wanda has enough base with the level 2 Ranger Blessing to hit 100 anyways. This doesn't matter. This, the 15 souls at the start of the fight, is nice, so you can instantly soul burn Pyllis twice. And I also grabbed this one just because you're always at full HP. So you'll always get the 2 extra souls, and there are some pretty tight, like, soul timings in the fight. And that doesn't matter. So, to summarize, it's literally just the speed. It's just the speed, and then these 2 soul ones. You do have to enhance some other ones to hit +9 anyways. Lastly is Lilka, who is just on some random DPS gear. I gave her Victoria's Flag just to have a damage boosting artifact. It's literally just whatever, like her stats don't matter, she's your secondary DPS. So that is it for everyone's stats, and now let's take a look at the fight. Let's explain how the Constellation energy works. It starts off with 50, and the way we decrease this is when the boss attacks. If we dodge, it'll go down by 20 per hero that dodges. Ainos obviously has no dodge here, so we can't really get around that, but even if Ainos doesn't get, or even if Ainos gets hit, it's fine. The other thing is it'll increase by 10 when it takes a turn, like all of the bosses, and also, if it has evasion buff, which happens after it uses its S2, which I'll go over in a little bit, if it dodges, it'll gain 20, plus if you let these two guys attack, then it'll also gain 20. We can stop them from attacking by provoking them, which I will do with Pyllis here. Provoking them, besides for the Constellation energy, is also relevant because when they attack, they will hit us because they have really high hit chance, and it'll decrease our essence of life. When this hits 0, you're dead. So we're going to hit them, and you see they have 2 skill nullifiers. When these skill nullifiers hits 0, it's going to flip colors. And the color flipping is relevant because now the boss has this buff here. Increases hit chance by 1000%, and after using any skill, dispels all debuffs from all allies. So we're going to want to flip this guy before the boss gets to move. Now we can soul burn into this one. And the buff is gone, and we are safe. So there, Ainos dodged, I think? Because I swear to god I saw her get hit. So that was because the boss naturally has minus 70% hit chance. So yeah, the odds of Ainos getting hit are pretty low. But now they're both dark. After the boss uses S1, they'll both be flipped to dark. Its S2 is buried in here. After attacking, on the next turn, uses Radiant Energy, which inflicts blind on you, which you'll have to cleanse with Pyllis. Also gives the boss increased evasion, which you can't strip. And then also flips them both over to light. So just try and remember that. It sucks that we can't see the cooldown. It would be nice if we could. Going to S1 this guy, because since they're both dark, now it has greatly decreased damage received. This is spelled wrong. But that's why I flipped it over to light earlier, so we can continue doing damage to the boss. For now, we're going to hit... Let's hit this guy. We are going to... Not soul burn yet, I'm just going to S1 this guy. We didn't land a provoke, which sucks. It's a 25 or it's a 75% chance to provoke. We'll just soul burn the next two S3s and we'll be able to provoke them both. Exactly 10 souls, so we can go ahead and do this. I don't know if it's going to get me into phase 2. Okay, it did. When it drops below 70%, it goes into phase 2. That thing there decreased our essence of life by 2. But more importantly, that counts as a skill. If these are both light when you enter phase 2, it will cleanse the provokes. And you can see this is a very awkward timing for that to happen. So definitely make sure they are not both light when you enter into phase 2. There's the S2, we're all blinded and has evasion. I can't S3 because we got unlucky with our S1 provoke earlier. So we are instead just going to hit this guy. I could cleanse with this, but the boss has evasion, so we're going to not do that. You can go Wondrous Potion Vial if you want, I guess, and cleanse off more, but I don't think it's like a huge deal. Let's go ahead and hit this guy once. Just gonna try and manage these so that they both flip over before the boss goes. And at this point, we might as well provoke this guy too. Now the boss is death broken, and it is time to try and deal damage. We are going to just push up Wanda. Triggers are both 2, so we can S3. I don't know if I explained the Death Break. Death Break happens when the boss hits 0 Constellation energy. Even if you don't get it on that turn, like let's just say Ainos is just getting hit or whatever, it's not a huge deal, because we still have 5 turns left. There's still a lot of time to deal damage to the boss. Here, let's see what we can do. I'm going to flip this over to light, so we don't get the damage reduction. Ainos can S3, or Lilka can S3, and then Ainos can flip the other one over to dark. Guess the boss wasn't going to take a turn anyways. We're not going to Soulburn this, we're just going to S1 it normally, because even if we didn't land that there, Pyllis would have lapped around, and we would have been able to S3 Soulburn it anyways. So here, not so much for the colors, we are just trying to make sure that we don't hit the boss while it has evasion. Let's hit this one. So this boss has evasion, but Wanda can hit it, of course. And so can Pyllis. But we have to take a look here. I'm going to flip this guy, and then flip this guy, because Ainos can't hit the boss, and I wanted to push up Wanda here. There's the S3, and now we can pretty much just kill him. The fight is pretty easy, honestly, especially if you have some of the upgrades to those slots that I mentioned. The Pyllis Soulburn thing is kind of close. Ainos does help with that, but you could just have a second Provoker and you'll be okay. But that is it for this. It's nice that it's so easily clearable on Nightmare, and we'll take a look at Perdition next for this fight.